but we got to give Dr. King his props. So, so we gotta give Dr. King his props. This is the first time his holiday ever fell on Resurrection Sunday. We just gotta give Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. his props as Americans. So, whatever you got to say, I have lost a brother, a sister, no, two brothers, and a sister, and a cousin and a niece to violence. So I know all about it. So, but let me just say, because she's standing over here like a clock, and tomorrow is a Victims of Violence Holy Day. It is one of the three visually affirmed days of respect that is now pending in Springfield as House Bill 4953 to go on the school calendar. I'm sorry, House Bill 4954 to go on the school calendar and visually affirm the three key principles of the American Civil Rights Renaissance of the 1960s from the standpoint of the survivors. And so we wear black and red. No, not black and red. We wear black and love on Victims of Violence Holy Day. I didn't say black and red. We wear black and love to overcome the kind of hatred that crucified Christ, assassinated Martin Luther King Jr., and tortured to death George Floyd. Now, I want to share with you why I wear black, why I wore black in 1972, and then I will get to my one-page poem that I wrote the actual night of his assassination, April 4th, 1968, because I needed to calm myself down. So, uh, this is why I wear black. The color black means different things to different people. If you are white, the color means that you are opposite black. Since white stands for purity, this means black is unpure. Since white is right, this means that black has to be wrong. It is therefore the white law of the land that blacks, the ones with black faces, must dwell uh, what we have to deal with. This means when you come to your place of employment looking for work, tell them no. This means when they come to your neighborhood looking for a dwelling place, tell them no. This means when they come to your schools looking for an education, tell them no. This means when they come to your church looking to praise your God, tell them no. This means when they come to your stores with less money to spend, charge them more. This means when it's time to fight in your wars, let them die. Let them die. And they died and are still dying. And that's uh, why I wore black. It stands for the mourning of my fallen dead, the ones who were the black faces all the days of their lives, and because of it, they have to die. Martin Luther King Jr. wore the humiliation of his race and the sickness of his country. He was the greatest wearer of all. I wore black in honor of the anniversary of his passing and in honor of all the braves, black brave blacks that fell before him and that will fall after him unless this country rids itself of the deadly disease called hatred. Martin Luther King sacrificed his life, but he left behind the cure for this sick society. You, I wear the black all the days of my life, but on April 4th, 1972, I wore it because I am sick no longer. You, the wearers of the white, are you still sick? If so, take the cure, love. Now, this is very short. You can give me a nice round of respect for that. Thank you. It's called Martin Luther King, the King of Men. I am black. Martin Luther King Jr., my Moses, my leader, my inspirator is gone. White America killed him. That is all I can think of. I am hurt. I am angry. I am confused. Yet, I do not ask myself why. I ask myself who. And the answer is white America. They did it. I do not hate white America. I hate what it has done. It has taken my Moses, my leader, my inspirator. I don't know what I'm going to do. I cannot look whites in the eye. They have wronged me again. They have hurt me again. For the first time, they all look the same. However, I cannot tell the good ones from the bad ones. They are all bad in my mind, but it's only when they speak sincerely and look truly concerned that I begin to tell the difference. And I need to tell the difference between the good ones and the bad ones so that hate will not overcome me. If I let hatred overcome me, Martin Luther King Jr. will have died in vain. I must keep my cool. I must think of what Martin Luther King Jr. would have wanted me to do. He was a man of love and faith, not only faith in God, but faith in mankind. He believed in it in all, he believed in it, the rights of all flesh, no matter what your race or your religion. He had a dream for us to live together in brotherhood and love. He believed in it so completely that he was more than willing to make the supreme sacrifice to give his life in pursuit of that dream. He could not continue his work for love, peace, freedom, justice, and equality, but the work he started must not end. We must carry out his dream, for it's not the dream of one man, it is the dream of America. And we must make it come true if we are to live without war. As he said, if we do not put an end to war, war will put an end to us. No other man has suffered and sacrificed so much for the sake of peace, brotherhood, and love since Christ, the only begotten Son. And if Christ died for the sins of the world and was called the King of Kings, Martin Luther King Jr. died for the sins of America and was truly the King of men. White racism killed his body, but the spirit of Martin Luther King, the King of men, marches on. It marches on.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, and I'm here to introduce the family of Anthony Alvarez, who was 22 years old and murdered by CPD on March 31st. I met this family at the vigil and memorial, which was destroyed and thrown away by CPD as soon as they got their hands on it that night. No, that's not right. They're cowards. Not only did this family lose someone at the hands of racist police, they still have no information about why the police was chasing Anthony. And there's no justice because no one should lose their life because of racist police terror. That police terror needs to end, and I'm here to introduce Roxana.
Hello, everyone. You know, I'm not much of a public speaker, professional, or anything. I don't have a speech ready to go, but I know God is going to give me strength to share my cousin's story. And thank you to everyone who's holding up his name up high. I really deeply appreciate it. I know my family does as well. You know, till this day, they just verified that that was the body on Eddie and Laramie. Our family, my aunt, was there that night trying to figure out if that was her missing son. And they pushed her away. She took out her phone with a picture and they pushed her away. And she said, I want to know if that's my son on the floor. I want to know. And they told her she couldn't, that she had to leave. And then she said, so then what are you guys here for? You know, I'm supposed to feel protected by you guys. I'm supposed to get answers from you guys. And they said, we're here to kick out people like you. My aunt is not much of an English speaker either. I know that if one of the younger heads were there, we wouldn't have left the scene. We would have stayed there. But then again, they will probably shoot another one of us. To this day, nobody has knocked on any of my aunt and uncle's house. Not for his property, not for anything. We had to go look up on Facebook. People were messaging us back and forth. I was the one who took him to the morgue so they could look at the body. Never in my life have I had to go through something like that. The first news article that came out said that the cop shot him one time on the leg. One time. To this day, they still haven't said why they were chasing him. He was literally right around the corner from his house. There has been neighbors that had come up and said that he raised his hands up to surrender. And they still shot him in front of his new Jeep that he was so proud to get for his daughter. He was a hardworking man. My aunt and I just went today to his job to pick up his last check. He was not out there on the streets getting money. He was not robbing nobody. He was no gangbanger. Go on all his social media, Anthony Alvarez, there's no gangbanging pictures. And yes, he had a gun on him. But do they know if he had a permit for it? He lived by himself in an ugly neighborhood. He could have probably had the right to own that gun. And to this day, they say he had no identification. But yet his credit card is missing. His ID is missing. We have no information from them. So we want to come here today and share a story. I wish I had my whole family here backing me up. We have some of it because everybody else is scared to come over here and get shot. We want answers. We want to know why he was being chased. We want to know why they only mentioned one gunshot in his leg and not 5 on his chest. So again, I want to thank everybody, and if anybody has any information or a way to help us, we will deeply appreciate it. We went to light up candles at the scene of the crime. We asked one of the police officers that obviously we knew we weren't going to be able to leave the candles in the property. So I've seen in my city that sometimes they leave candles, flowers, and posters in the corners. So we asked respectfully. We had no music. We had no alcohol. There was nobody smoking there. Nothing but flowers, candles, and broken hearts. They said yes. As soon as we turn our backs, the cops start throwing everything away. Everything. Our money, our heart, our tears, everything. They throw it away like it's nothing. And I'm tired of seeing this not only in my city, in the north side of Chicago, I'm tired of seeing it everywhere. In the south side. And I want you guys to expose those videos because we have pictures, we have videos of them throwing everything out. So I want you guys to expose that because we asked respectfully. And for everyone out there, just, live and learn. Because next time I will get a cop's name. I will record my conversation with them because we can't be going through this. I don't know if my cousin was just going for a walk because he was on foot. His Jeep was perfectly parked around his house. I don't know if he was just going for a walk. Am I going to be allowed to go for a walk? Is my 7-year-old brother going to be allowed to go for a walk? Or is he going to get shot for looking brown or black? I don't know if anybody else of my family wants to speak, but thank you everyone for hearing us out, sharing Anthony Alvarez's story. Thank you everyone. Appreciate it.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Justice for Adam Toledo. Justice for Adam Toledo. Justice for Adam Toledo. Justice for Anthony Aldridge. Justice. Anthony Aldridge. Anthony Aldridge. Anthony Aldridge. Anthony Aldridge.
Say his name, Adam Toledo. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. A 13-year-old young man was killed by the KKK cops. Say his name. Louder. Louder. What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? And when do we want it? Thank you. Now we have Naima. Yes, she's my sister as well. She's going to speak as well. Thank you.
Peace and blessings, my people. We are powerful. And we are not going to allow the organized bullies to run our lives. We are not going to be afraid because we are powerful. I want to ask my sister, Mama D, to stand with me because this year, we, the women of the Female Solution radio show, an international platform where we gather with women who are peace-loving all over the world, have recognized one among us who is stepping forward in power to make a difference. We awarded 20 women at our international awards program this past March in Florida, and one among us was the very powerful organizer of this program, one who has stood forth without fear, facing bullies, facing guns, facing threats, facing arrests, and she has not blinked. She is a powerful woman, an example of what we all are and what we all shall remain, even in the face of threats. So we want to congratulate our sister, Carolyn Ruff. And on behalf of the Female Solution host team, myself, Mama D, and all of us all around the world who recognize a champion of the people, we want to congratulate you for standing strong and being an example of the queens that we descend on, the queens that we still are, and the queens who will stand firm and remove the injustice in our nation and in our world. We thank you, Carolyn Ruff, for being who you are, a woman of wonder. Thank you, and congratulations for winning the Women of Wonder Award from the Female Solution.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So next we're gonna have Mr. Eric. He's gonna speak, and he's one of my good friends. We may bump head every now and then, but Eric is number one in my book. Thank you.
My name is Eric Russell, the American activist, president of the Tree of Life Justice Movement. Dr. King once said, we must never fail to speak up about the things that matter. The lives of our children matter. 13-year-old Adam Toledo, his life mattered. As we are in Resurrection Weekend, there is no resurrection for the children whose lives were stolen by police. There is a hunt. And those of us that are kissed by the sun, the police have put targets on our back. Anthony Alvarez, they say he did not have any identification, but I submit this to you. In the eyes of a racist killer cop, the very brown skin that Alvarez was in was weaponized. It is not the natural order of things. Adam Toledo's mother has to plan a funeral. She has to plan a funeral. No mother should have to bury her child. The Honorable Brother Minister Malcolm X said, if we are not careful, the media will have us loving the oppressor and hating the oppressed. When you murder a 13-year-old child, what the hell is an armed confrontation? We got to stop just accepting these narratives from the devil about an armed confrontation. I will tell you what an armed confrontation is. An armed confrontation is a service revolver of an officer and a throwaway gun in his sock. That's an armed confrontation. In the eyes of these racist killer cops, God's celestial kiss. I would say to my brown brothers and sisters, you do not have the complexion for the exception. They are killing black and brown kids. They are not killing Opie Taylor. Mayberry ain't killed Opie. And if ain't be, we would ride with her. Our reality is that they are killing our children's justice.
Now I'm going to introduce you to Patrick again.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring up some of our supporters from the Brown Berets, a very powerful organization, endorsers of this action, fighters for justice, to come here and say a few words. Thank you so much.
Anyone here from the Toledo family?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Coco Sandoval, and I'm here representing Los Brown Berets. On Monday, March 29th, 2021, our young 13-year-old Chicano brother, Adam Toledo, was shot and killed by Chicago police in the Little Village neighborhood. 2 days later, on March 13th, 2021, our 22-year-old Chicano brother, Anthony Alvarez, was also shot and killed at the hands of CPD in Portage Park. We stand today to honor and remember Adam Toledo, Anthony Alvarez, and many other Chicanos and Blacks that have lost their lives due to Chicago PD. We, Los Brown Berets, are here to stand in solidarity with Adam Toledo's family, Anthony Alvarez's family, and Chicano community to demand that justice be served to all. We stand with you today to mourn the loss of our young brothers at the hands of the Chicago Police Department. Not only was Adam Toledo killed, but his family was not notified until 2 days after the incident had occurred. Why the delay? When family members had placed candles to remember Anthony Alvarez, Chicago police officers took them down and threw them in the trash. What a disgrace. We are angered and offended at the massive disrespect shown that did not even allow for peace, reconciliation, or mourning to take place after a loved one's death. Our Chicano brothers have been dehumanized by not allowing them to be mourned or remembered and their life taken away too soon. We are here to reclaim our humanity and speak up for those who have lost their lives at the hands of CPD. We demand an end to police brutality and police killing of Black and brown people across the country. community is what led to the loss of life for Adam Toledo, Anthony Alvarez, and many others in our own streets. Racial prejudices must be checked and addressed within ourselves to lessen the racism and hate towards Black and brown people. We must hold each other accountable in order to dismantle racism and unjustified killing of BIPOC.
Right.
We rise today to demand justice for Adam Toledo, for Anthony Alvarez, and their families. If there is no justice, there can be no peace. We demand that the Chicago Police Department and the Civilian Office of Police Accountability execute a swift and thorough investigation of both cases while providing the truthful answers that their families and the Chicano community deserves. We demand that police body cam footage be released immediately for review. Nothing can justify the killing of our young 13-year-old Chicano brother, Adam Toledo, who ironically wanted to become a police officer. We demand that police end the killing of our people of color in our communities and across the country. Viva la causa.
Thank you. Let's hear it one more time. So much. So now, we have just a few more speakers before we're going to hit the streets, show them our power. Do we have next? So let's have Liz Brown, our sister, come up here next. Thank you. Please give her a very warm welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Brown. I am an advocate for Justice Wisconsin on the behalf of Joel Acevedo, who was murdered during the lockdown in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 19th, by an off-duty officer. He was held in a rear naked chokehold for 11 minutes and 22 seconds. Also, there were two accomplices that accompanied Michael Mattioli, the cop that murdered Joel, who was off duty, but called in and stated he was an officer. Joel Acevedo begged to go home. 11 minutes and 22 seconds, and this cop had the right to request to resign, and he wasn't fired. I just ask you guys to continue to stand in solidarity, to continue to apply pressure to the police department, to the judges, to the district attorneys, because this whole system is connected. And as we continue to beg, they continue to murder us. So until we become change, until we start putting people in different seats and applying pressure like they did on George Floyd, like they held the rear naked chokehold on Joel Acevedo while two other men held his legs. We're not asking for justice, we're demanding justice. And if we don't get justice, we will shut it the fuck down. Justice for Joel Acevedo and every other individual that has lost their life egregiously to the police, because they have no respect for us, because we have allowed them to go for too long. When the cat's away, the mice will play. It's time for us to do our job. Police the police.
We're going to have Brother Tory. He's also from Milwaukee. He's an activist. He's a leader. He has his own personality stores. Not store, but you know what I mean. His radio station on Truth. And you all should listen to him every day. He's on at 1 o'clock from 1 until 4. So I want to introduce you to my brother, Mr. Tory Lowe.
God bless everybody. I want y'all to understand this. Ain't much changed. It's 2021. And I read an article recently about a young 6-year-old black boy that was put in court, that was detained for picking a flower while he was standing on the bus stop in North Carolina. This is 2021 and we're still trying to fight for justice. So where are we going wrong? Because we've been fighting for this over 400 years. So where are we making our mistakes? I'm going to tell you where we're making the mistakes. We're making the mistakes because we are divided. We're making mistakes because we're not holding our elected officials accountable. Every elected official that we voted for should be standing here today, marching with us today. Why? Because November 3rd came, and now all the crowds are gone. Now that they got what they wanted from the movement, they put Breonna Taylor and George Floyd right in the front and marched us straight to the polls. But after November 3rd, we got the breakup text. We still need justice. And don't slack up. Even if the people who are playing around, y'all the real ones. Because all the play is gone. The ones that are standing out here today are the ones that are going to change these laws. The ones that are standing out here today is going to be the one to fight for the next generation. All I'm going to tell y'all is this. I'm going to leave y'all with this. If we do not start putting our brothers and sisters who are out here marching on the front lines in these seats, we'll be back here 10 years from now. That's the truth. We don't have to explain to each other what we need. I can walk up to any last one of y'all and y'all can feel our pain. Put these people in office. If you want change, put the people on the front lines in these seats and watch. Because we know where they live at. They eat with us right now. We talking to them right now. 4 years from now, let's make a whole change in the leadership so we can have what we need. Because the only reason we beg is because we're talking to people that don't understand. So let me drop that on you. Now, when I say power, you say power to the people. Power! Power to the people! Power! Power to the people! We want power! Power to the people! It's power! Power to the people! God bless you.
I said this would be the last speaker. We're going to march for an hour. Then we will return and carry on with the speakers. Let's see. Did you say that? That's why I asked her to come to the front. You're up next, dear. This is my sister. She came all the way from Louisiana, right? Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And she's still in Alta's mind. She has a word to say, and I want you all to listen.
Hey, everybody. My name is Vita Abusali. I'm the auntie of Alton Sterling, who was murdered in Baton Rouge by some racist police officers. I'm going to try to calm myself down today. He was murdered in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because he's black. See, my story is your story. Nothing changed, just different players. You see, different people got murdered, different police officers murdered them. Until we stand hand in hand and fight this thing, I'm tired of talking about politicians. It's past them. I ain't got time for none of that. Until we stand hand in hand and fight this thing, because we can do it. Trust me. When we take our dollars out of their pockets, they gonna hear us. Right now, they can't hear us because we still running to the mall. We still buying everything that we can buy with our dollars. When we stop spending our dollars, they gonna hear us. No justice, no racist, no justice, no racist.
marching. You don't mind, do you, Reverend? We're gonna march, and I guarantee you, Reverend McCrory has a word to say, and I guarantee you, y'all should come back and hear what he has to say. But right now, we're gonna start the march. Thank you.
Everyone, follow the yellow banner, and we're going to hit these streets. Thank you.
I'm Naima Latif from the Media Connection, and we are here on downtown Chicago at the march organized by Black Lives Matter, Women of Faith, and we are here at Dearborn and Adams, between Adams and Jackson, of course, and at the Federal Plaza, where many who have had family members killed by police have gathered and demanded justice. Speakers have demanded that police be held accountable and that the killing stop and that the racially motivated violence against the Black and brown community cease. And now the participants will conduct a march around this location and will continue to demand of elected officials to seek and acquire justice for those wrongfully slain by police. I'm Naima Latif.